Hello, good evening, and welcome to Lower Afton, the Black Hole, the scene for tonight's TSSAA Middle School Division II Area 1 Championship. It's Sullivan Central Middle School versus the Chuckey-Doak Middle School Black Knights. And Derek Tarleton, Tyler Nichols joining me, Matthew Palazzo saying hello, elevated field side from the Black Hole. Chuckey-Doak looking to three-peat as area champions, looking to avenge their earlier season loss against this Cougar team. And as we conclude the middle school season, I'm excited, Derek. I don't know what your feelings are, but it should be a heck of a matchup on hand for tonight.
Oh, yeah, by far. I mean, this game, like you said, they're looking to revenge a game that they lost earlier in the season, which is never fun. When you get an extra chance to attack an opponent, you're always going to want to do that. And then also, it's a three-peat. How many times can you look and say, I three-peated something in sports? So this is a big deal for the Chuckey-Doak Black Knights.
And it's big for that eighth grade class, too. I mean, I look out there, the eighth grade seniors walking out to midfield. Chuckey-Doak High School, who we got to see last Friday. I mean, these kids are going to be on the high school team for years to come. And to wrap up a middle school career saying they are area champs for 3 years running, that's a pretty big deal.
That's a very big deal, and especially you look at the future for the high school. These coaches now got to be really excited seeing a potential three-peat for the Chuckey-Doak Black Knights, having players come up, understanding what it takes to be champions. That's a big deal for the high school league.
And a very competitive area throughout the season. Multiple teams with multiple losses. It came down to tiebreakers to see who would get in the playoffs, who would then end up being the last man standing. And Sullivan Central, Chuckey-Doak Middle, they make their runs through that later season stretch. Chuckey-Doak, despite the 3 losses, Derek, here in the championship game.
Yeah, and that just says how much grit and integrity both teams have to have. For Chuckey-Doak, 3 losses. Now you have everything against you, and you're still able to be here in the championship game. That just shows you how much grit this team has.
Well, here for another installment of the First Horizon Spotlight Game of the Week. The last middle school game, we know that. Not sure what's to come. Maybe hit some JV football games throughout the end of the high school season, but should be a fun one as we enter the middle portion of October. And it looks like Sullivan Central, who wins the opening coin toss, will choose to receive the football. And we'll get to see this Chuckey-Doak Black Knight offense on the field first. So before we begin here, beautiful weather on hand. Upper 60s, partly cloudy from Lower Afton. Do have some smoke in the air, but otherwise a beautiful evening for some middle school football.
Absolutely. This is what you think of when you think of football. Upper 60s, lower 70s, not too hot. You're not sitting here sweating, not sitting here freezing. Perfect weather, get a little smoke, get a little beautiful mountain view here at Chuckey-Doak. This should be a good game, too.
So Sullivan Central wins the opening coin toss. They do elect to receive, and Chuckey-Doak will boot it away from left to right as you view it. Mikey Kierker set to put foot to leather before we have football here from Lower Afton. Chuckey-Doak coming out in the home blacks. Black pants, black lids as well. The gold numbers and lettering with the white trim. Sullivan Central, the Cougars in the road whites, orange numbers and lettering with the gray pants, orange piping down the sides, the white lids with the orange script across the left side. So Carricker gets set to tow it away. As we get set to kick off the Area 1 Championship, Carricker puts boot to ball, a dribbling onside kick that doesn't nearly make it to the 50-yard line, but it is recovered by Sullivan Central and Eli Gillenwater, and we'll see this Cougar offense start off in plus territory.
Being very aggressive early here on the onside kick, that's something that I'm expecting to see a lot of from both teams. This is the championship. It's a big deal. We really don't know how these teams like to play. We've not seen these teams play this season. So now it's going to be very interesting to see how well both teams defensively and offensively can respond and how aggressive they want to be here early.
Well, Sullivan Central certainly has the numbers advantage. I think they took 2 bus loads over here to Lower Afton. They've got about 60 on the roster, and 60 of those players lined up on the opposing sideline. They brought a good crew over in the stands as well. The opening play will be a slant pass caught by Reese Smith, and he'll take it inside the 40. A good throw by the signal caller and quarterback, Garrett Wagner, for the Cougars.
Great play. Obviously, everybody's going to think that it's a run play setting up in the what we have now deemed it the academy-style setup. But right there, great play, play action, quick slant outside, making Chuckey-Doak on its toes a little bit here early.
So a quick 10-yard catch and run there for Reeves Smith. And Israel Colazo credited with the tackle on the defensive side. A lot of size up front for Chuckey-Doak, though, so I think if you're the Cougars, definitely want to get to the perimeter. That quick passing game, it's going to help you out a lot this evening. Central going to line up in the wishbone look. Under center goes Garrett Wagner. 2 receivers off to his right. He'll turn around, and it's a handoff off the right tackle to Israel Ricketts. And tackled right around the 30-yard line. Gain of about 5, which will bring up a 2nd and 5 from the Black Knight 31.
The thing with setting up in that formation that Central's doing right now is you can do a ton of different things quickly. You can go tosses, you can go inside runs, but y'all can do play action. And quick play action game is going to be what can potentially kill this Chuckey-Doak defense. If Chuckey-Doak has to clog the holes and stop this running attack, that opens ways up for the pass game.
Well, it's an excellent point, too, especially how Sullivan Central has come out of the gates looking under center, 2 tight ends in there, looking to establish that run early on. They'll look to do it again from the same formation. Wagner under center will take the snap, turn around, a fake handoff. They go counter the opposite way. The Sullivan Central running back carrying defenders before being driven down towards the sideline. It's Paxton Roberts on the carry. Picks up about 2 on the play, but a swarm of black hats stop them from reaching the line to gain.
Yeah, Central went quick, and they went a little bit of a trickery there. You know, the fake handoff to one side, hands off the other side. Great job, though, for Chuckey-Doak, staying disciplined, getting in the – they actually had people on the backfield hitting him. That was great toughness for the Central player to get a little bit of yardage there. But, again, great job by the Chuckey-Doak defense staying disciplined.
A great effort to rally to the football, and that, importantly, will bring up our first 3rd down of the evening. Wagner under center, similar formation. They're going to look to plunge it up the middle on the quarterback sneak. Wagner able to get to the 25, and it looks like it will be enough to reach the line to gain and move the chains for our first reset of the downs this evening.
Something we haven't seen a lot in middle school or high school games, a little bit of a quarterback sneak, tush-push kind of style play. Keeps Chuckey-Doak off sides. We've seen now 4 plays for Central, 4 different style plays. Fake handoff, throw, and now the quarterback keeps it. So they're showing they can hurt you in different ways here on this offense.
Well, it's a lost art in football. You saw the Eagles do it, however, last week, three times in a row, and it eventually got Hurts in the end zone. So we'll see if we see that again from Wagner in that Cougar offense again this drive. But after the first down, the Cougars will have a fresh set of downs from the 25-yard line. 2 backs share the backfield. 3 receivers out on the field for the Cougars. Wagner takes the snap. It's a quick screen, and it gets batted at the line of scrimmage. Rolling out near the 30. They're going to rule it as a fumble that gets recovered by Sullivan Central. So a loss of 5 on the play. Or excuse me, I spoke too soon. An incomplete pass is what is ruled as. On the way the line judge stepped out to the 30, I thought it was ruled a fumble. But it does bring up 2nd and 10 from the same spot.
That's going to be a big thing for Chuckey-Doak. Can they get in the backfield? If they can get in the backfield and interrupt this timing for Central, it's going to be a big chance for them to get the win here.
Wagner will take the snap, look to send it right behind the center again. This time, a pummeling effort by that Chuckey-Doak defense led by the defensive tackle, Cameron Combs, on the stop in the backfield. So a negative play, an incomplete pass, and then a quarterback sneak. And we're 3rd and 10 from the 25, so a big chance for Chuckey-Doak's defense to get off the field here.
That's 2 big plays, getting in the backfield, and now Chuckey-Doak stacking the line again, showing they're going to give a little bit of pressure here to the quarterback.
Central going to pack it in tight, and Chuckey-Doak will load the box. The toss play off to the right. Ricketts with the toss sweep, and he's met on the corner by Mikey Carricker, coming up, wrapping up the halfback, Israel Ricketts, and driving him into the ground. So a good gain, but on 3rd down, still going to keep the offense out there. 4-down territory here. What do you think?
I agree with the decision. You're at the 20, right at the red zone. If you're not giving a ton of great field position for Chuckey-Doak, if you fail to complete this. But like I said, you got to be aggressive. This is the championship game. Throw all your cards on the table. I agree with this decision here early.
So Wagner and the Cougar offense going to stay out onto the field. Conversion here would put the Cougars further into the red zone as Wagner breaks the huddle and the horns start to sound here in Lower Afton. 2 receivers go out to Wagner's left. He'll line up in the shotgun for the first time this drive. The snap, and he'll look to his left. He's got pressure in the backfield. He'll loft one up into the end zone, and it's just outside the outreach hands of Reeves Smith. A crucial stop on 4th down, and the Chuckey-Doak defense forces a turnover on downs.
Absolutely great pressure to get in the quarterback's face. Don't give him time. If he had 1 extra second, maybe 2 extra seconds there, he could have placed that ball perfectly in the corner for a touchdown. Great job for Chuckey-Doak getting in the backfield, getting in the quarterback's face quickly, and not giving him time to read the field.
So a great defensive stand. These two teams have met before this season, with Chuckey-Doak losing earlier. It's 36-30, so a much higher scoring affair than we're used to seeing. But last year in that championship game, Chuckey-Doak beat this same Cougar team 16-8, so a little conflict of styles there. Chuckey-Doak again looking for the three-peat with an Area 1 championship win here tonight, and we'll get to see the first of that Black Knight offense led by quarterback Brody Myers, will line up in the shotgun starting off, and looks like Sullivan Central will expend its first timeout of the evening. We'll take the break with 3.5 left to go in the opening quarter. Still scoreless between Chuckey-Doak and Sullivan Central. In the Area 1 championship, this is the First Horizon Spotlight Game of the Week.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
So why sit on the sidelines when you could be driving a brand new Chevrolet, GMC, or Cadillac from Bachman Bernard in Greenville? Choose from the Silverado, Sierra, Terrain.
So a turnover on downs for Sullivan Central, and this Black Knight offense will set up shop from their own 20-yard line. Brody Myers in the shotgun, 2 receivers either side. It'll be a 3-step drop. He'll look to his left. He's got a man open over the middle, and it's a first down catch. Jackson Sutherland reeling in the 20-yarder. That puts the Black Knights up at the 42. An excellent throw and catch as Sutherland reels it in to move the chains.
I thought he was playing an all-go route off of college football or something right there. Every wide receiver was going deep. That was a great catch, too. He had to spin around, grab it. Beautiful catch, beautiful throw, and this Chuckey-Doak team's coming out aggressive here early.
We're going to line up in the similar set in the shotgun. Myers going quickly. It'll be a read option. He'll keep it off the right side, shrug off a tackler, and then look to reverse field. He's got some open ground moving towards the left sideline. He's got one man to beat, and he'll shed the tackle inside the 15, inside the 5. Touchdown, Brody Myers. Chuckey-Doak middle on the second offensive play of the game. Strikes from 58 yards away.
That's a play that I don't think they dialed up to be a touchdown run. I think it looked like it was going to be a broken down pass play, honestly, but that was a great job going off schedule. Myers able to make a couple men miss, shug a couple of tackles, and then beats the rest of the defense with the speed.
From 58 yards out, and you're right, it was a broken play to begin with. Read option. He was supposed to go to that right side. He reversed his course, breaks a couple of tacklers, gets a good block downfield, which springs him open for the rest of that run, and the Black Knights strike first. They do it quickly and jump out to a 6-0 lead. They'll line up to go for the 2-point conversion. Myers going to plunge it up the middle, reaching out towards the goal line. He will not get in. 2-point conversion will fail, but the score remains. Chuckey-Doak 6, Sullivan Central 0. This is the First Horizon Spotlight Game of the Week.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Tommy's Plumbing has been in business for 30 years, and we're still growing because we treat our customers like family. We are proud to do any job from kitchen faucet installation to a complete home repipe. Tommy's Plumbing offers warranties on most products installed by our technicians. When the job is done, our friendly professionals make sure to clean up. We invite you to visit our new showroom in Jonesboro to see our quality products for yourself. Tommy's is the only one to call when you need a fast, reliable, professional plumber in the Tri-Cities.
The Black Knights score first. They do it on a 58-yard touchdown run, and on the ensuing kickoff, Mikey Carricker places the onside kick rather perfectly, and coming in and delivering that blow is Skylar Nelson. But Sullivan Central able to hop on it. They'll be driving now, trailing 6 after that 2-play touchdown drive, Derek.
The way that Chuckey-Doak came out early. You know, they had the 2 onside kicks. That's very aggressive play. It was going deep. They had the run. Chuckey-Doak looks like they want to be aggressive. They want this game to get out of hand early. If I'm Central, I'm sitting here saying, all right, we got to have to slow this game down, play our kind of tempo, and we're going to have to get some points here because where Chuckey-Doak's coming out, they're looking like they are on a mission to get this 3-peat.
Well, it's going to be tough sledding. That interior front for the defensive line, Skylar Nelson, Cameron Combs, a couple big stops a previous drive that led the Cougars to turn it over on downs. The opening play will be a handoff right side. Ricketts has it. He'll shut off a tackler and then get bounced out of bounds as Carricker comes in late from the safety position. So pretty productive run there on first down. It'll bring up 2nd and short into plus territory.
Both teams are doing a nice job blocking. That was a great block. They had many people in front of them blocking, and that's just exactly what Central's going to have to do if they want to win this football game. You can tell they're a running team. If their running game works, then their passing game opens up. If their running game doesn't work, their passing game starts to close. So right now, they just need to continue to run the football and get the football in their playmakers' hands.
2nd and 3 for the Cougars. They go back to that power eye look, and flags will fly before the play can get a chance to develop. Wait the call. It seems to go against Chuckey-Doak, and it will. So the offense will move the chains by itself. Fresh set of downs for the Cougars after the 5-yard mistake by that Black Knight defense.
The emotions are running high in a championship game. That's understandable, but you still have to keep your head and have to play disciplined football. You can't make careless errors like that and step off sides when the ball's not even snapped yet. That kind of stuff just needs to be tallied up here, going moving forward.
First penalty of the game for either side, and with 2:20 left to go in the quarter, it'll be a handoff off the right tackle, and cutting it up for a big gain is the halfback Reeves Smith. Electric, darting upfield, and that's a pretty good run to move the chains after the gain of 10+.
Again, why not run the football if you're going to have blockers that can get ahead of the sticks? We had linemen up there 10 yards ahead of the sticks or where the ball was snapped, line of scrimmage, and we're still blocking for him. That's what you'd like to see in a hustle game.
Chuckey-Doak unable to get the 12th man off the field, and it's not Kyle Field, so 12 men are not allowed out there. So the second penalty of the game that will go against Chuckey-Doak, and that'll back him up. Like you said, emotions running high, championship game, a lot at stake. Understandable for those young men to kind of, in this first quarter, make some of those mistakes you don't typically see.
Yeah, you understand to have those mistakes that you don't typically see, like you said, but also you got to think of it this way. This is their third time, some people's third times,
right.
8th graders' third times being in this spot. So you would like to think, okay, they're not going to end up being undisciplined, but they have been so far today.
Sullivan Central going to overload the right side of the line of scrimmage, and on the tackle for the Black Knights is going to be Israel Colazo, but I believe we might see a horse collar here on the tail end of the play. Reeves Smith again getting tagged for the carry. I like that guy at the halfback position for Sullivan Central. He's shifty back, moves well. And it will be a face mask against the Chuckey-Doak Black Knights. So you can tack more onto the end of that run by Reeves Smith. So what was a 7-yard carry turns in to much more. It moves the Cougars all the way deeper into the red zone inside the 10 after the face mask penalty.
The Cougars are getting a lot of help from the Chuckey-Doak defense, giving penalties that they shouldn't really be given. A face mask, it's more understandable than an offsides and 12 men on the field, but still, you don't like to have it. And especially right now, in this spot, instead of Central being at the 40, which is where they were before all these penalties hit, now they're inside the 10-yard line. Chuckey-Doak's going to have to clean it up.
Well, again, the Cougars go for that unbalanced look to the right side. Wagner under center. He'll look to sneak it up the middle, get some help from behind with a couple fullbacks pushing him forward. And that'll plunge him all the way to the 5-yard line. Similar position we saw Chuckey-Doak's defense in last drive. We'll see if they can bow their backs here and limit some points.
Yeah, it's the bend, don't break mentality is what you like to see here. Yes, you're inside your 5, but if you can put a goal line stand here, you think Central's going to go for it. They're not going to kick a field goal in this spot. If you can get a turnover on downs, you like your chances for your offense to get you out of this spot.
Almost certainly going to be 4-down territory here for the Cougs. 2nd and goal from the 5. Wagner breaks the huddle, and they're going to pack it in tight. That Chuckey-Doak defense going to send all 11 within 5 yards of the box, and Wagner's going to reverse out. Hand it off. It's Reeves Smith on the corner. He'll stretch out. He's got the goal line. Touchdown, Sullivan Central, as Reeves Smith finds pay dirt to tie us at 6.
Just a simple little Handoff, go to the outside, bounce out, have blockers to block for you, and just make it into the end zone. That was a perfectly executed play there by Central. And now they have a shot to take the lead here or late in the first quarter.
With 56 seconds left in the corner, Reese Smith going to find the end zone, and we're deadlocked at 6. So already a couple scores exchanged between the two sides. Chuckey-Doak's much quicker developing. And then a penalty-riddled drive for that Chuckey-Doak defense aids the Cougars all the way down inside the 5, where Reeves Smith delivers the finishing touch. So 2-point conversion as the Cougars will line up. Wagner directing traffic on the line of scrimmage. Again, they line up in that power I set. Wagner under center, reverses out. It's a toss to Smith, bottom of the screen, and Smith will get taken down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. So we stay tied at 6. Sullivan Central knots us up. We go to break. You're listening to the First Horizon Spotlight Game of the Week.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Whether you ride, haul, or work, CNC has what moves you from dirt roads to job sites. We've got the gear to get you there. Hardworking equipment, helpful people, and honest advice. Whether you haul tools, toys, or livestock, CNC Custom Trailers has the equipment you need and the upgrades you want. CNC Custom Trailers, where you're more than just a customer, you're a neighbor.
Well, Sullivan Central finds the end zone for the first time tonight. 2-point conversion fails, and we're tied at 6 apiece. Under a minute left to go here, opening quarter of action, and the ensuing kickoff will be an end-over-end kick that takes Zayden Shackle back to the 30, and nearly lost it there, but able to fall back on it. So not as fortunate field position we saw Sullivan Central begin with their last drive, but the Black Knights with a much longer field to drive after the Brody Myers touchdown and looking to retake the lead here.
They are, and that first drive, you pretty much did whatever you wanted. It was 2 plays, great pass, and then a great run by Brody Myers. So now you're looking at it this way. Chuckey-Doak needs to answer again for this touchdown. They need to keep the pressure on Central, keep it off so your defense can make those mistakes, because they've made some mistakes, but if you can keep the pressure off of your defense to say, hey, it's okay, we'll get the lead back, that helps them kind of calm down a little bit in a game like this.
Especially if it's going to be one of those high-scoring games. We've seen these two in a shootout earlier this year, so certainly you'd think would favor the team that can get a stop. Chuckey-Doak already with one, and Brody Myers going to drive to his right. That paint peeling off the helmet, Derek, you love to see it. He's traded so much paint. Half of that right side of the helmet is just completely white, bearing to that black paint. That's what you want to see from your run-first dual-threat quarterback.
You would like to see it. Also, you kind of get a little concerning. You're taking those hits to the head like that consistently. That kind of concerns. But, yeah, you can tell he's the heart and soul of this offense early in this game, and you can tell he embraces it. He wants to be the heart and soul of this offense. So we'll see how he can do here in this game. Central, you're going to have to calm down on the run game.
2nd and 8 from the Black Knight 28 as Myers lines up in the gun. Back offset to his right. It's Shockey off the edge, left side. He makes a man miss, sprinting towards the far sideline. He's got one man to beat, and he gets pushed out of bounds by Rylan Henry. But a big-time run brings the Chuckey-Doak's offense all the way into plus territory after a big-time conversion.
Absolutely beautiful run. Everybody thought they're just going to let the clock run down to the end of the quarter, but instead of letting it run to the quarter, they said, we're going to do one more play, catch the Central off guard, I think, a little bit. Great run, great blocking. Beautiful play.
Well, we played one here in Lower Afton, still not up, 6 apiece. Chuckey-Doak driving when we return. This is the First Horizon Spotlight Game of the Week.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Looking for a garage door without the long wait? At D&D Garage Door Supplier of Greenville, you'll find Safeway brand garage doors delivered in just 9 business days. Why wait 4 to 6 weeks when your new door could be rolling up sooner? They're your one-stop shop with over 25 years of experience, offering doors, parts, installs, and openers, including LiftMaster motors, overheads, and side mounts. Dealers, go check them out. They've got everything you need to get the job done right. Stop by 107 Bohannon Avenue or call 423-278-0622. D&D Garage Door Supplier. Reliable, trustworthy, and opening doors for you every day.
Well, we're deadlocked at 6. Chuckey-Doak driving a big 36-yard run by Zayden Shockey, and the Knights picking up right where they left off their first offensive drive after a big-time carry that moves the Knights all the way into plus territory. Myers and co. will send 2 receivers out to either side. It'll be a sprint out to the right, a pass caught by Logan Kuklowski, and Kuklowski's going to lose the football near the line to gain. It gets picked up by the Black Knights, however. And at least for now, they survive what could have been a catastrophic play.
Yeah, you got to be able to hold on the football. We get it that, the people's going to swing, punch the football out. You just got to be able to hold on the football there. If you're going to continue to fight and you feel that ball starting to loosen up in your grip, just go down. It's better to go down and get the yardage you can get compared to losing the football, because that's pretty good field position for Central to have there if they did get the football there.
Heads-up play there by Mikey Carricker, who falls on it at the 30-yard line. So now it's 2nd and 4 for Chuckey-Doak's offense. Twins look both sides. Myers will hand it up. In between the tackles goes Shockey. Shockey sheds a tackler at the line of scrimmage and then reaches forward. He's got the line to gain, so that'll move the chains as the Black Knight offense continues to move on all cylinders.
Chuckey-Doak's middle school offense is looking like a Chuckey-Doak high school offense. They like to run the football, continue to get the running game going. Brody Myers is a good quarterback. We've seen that early, but the first drive, they was going throw, let's even try to do a throw pass before Brody Myers took it to the house. Now they're kind of slowing it down, saying let's run the football, let's get a running game established, let's try to tire out this defense.
Fresh set of downs for the Black Knights. A shotgun snap bobbled by Myers. He'll pick it up and make something out of it. Moving inside the 20. Snapped it, brought him lower and off to his left, but I like this Chuckey-Doak run game early on. Got some QB run involved in there. They're going to spread out that Sullivan Central defense and just look to cut it up the middle with their run-heavy, at least quarterback. Their 1-2 punch at quarterback and running back.
Sullivan Central now has to focus on the run game, which now opens up the pass game. They're going to have to put more people in the box to cover up this running game, which means now we have 2 one-on-one here on the bottom of your screen. That's huge for Chuckey-Doak because Brody Myers can get it to these wide receivers pretty quickly.
Myers and his 6-yard carry makes it a 2nd and 4 from the Cougar 19. Myers, the shotgun snap. It'll be a read option. He'll take it off the right side. He's got some space, and he'll break a few tackles before being gang tackled by that Cougar secondary, but it is enough to move the chains. Another Black Knight first down as they march deeper into the Gary's Paint Body red zone.
Again, read option's a perfect system to run when you have a quarterback and running back that's both torching the defense. If the defensive lineman's going to follow the running back, okay, I'll keep myself. That's what Brody Myers did there and then executed it to perfection, gets the first down.
Oh, he's looked excellent on his 4 carries thus far. Of course, the first covering 58 yards for 6. This time it might be 6 more, and it's Shockey breaking a tackle into the end zone. Zayden Shockey puts the Black Knights back in front, 12-6 after the touchdown run covering 12 yards.
Again, you're torching this defense right now, running the football. Continue to do it. Great blocking. Shockey's able to make a man miss, take it to the end zone. Chuckey-Doak gets another 6.
Zayden Shockey, 3 carries thus far, 54 yards and a score. The touchdown run puts Chuckey-Doak ahead, 12-6 with 5.5 left to go in the first half. Myers lines up to run the 2-point conversion. He'll take it right side behind the guard and push himself into the end zone. Give him 2 more. Chuckey-Doak extends its lead. Your score, 5:28 left to go in the quarter. It's Chuckey-Doak 14, Sullivan Central 6. You're listening to the First Horizon Spotlight Game of the Week.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. to help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Smith. 14-6, our updated score after a touchdown run by the Black Knights. Zayden Shockey that covers 12 yards, puts the Black Knights back in front, this time by 8 after the 2-point conversion is successful. And the Knights will line up to boot it opposite way. So 5:28 left to go here in the half. You like to see that response and continued efficiency from the Chuckey-Doak offense. Carricker going to put boot to ball. It rumbles end over end all the way inside the 10-yard line. Racing back to retrieve it is Reeves Smith. He'll take it out inside his own 5 and get chased down, brought down by Roman C., but he breaks the tackle. Smith makes another move. He cuts upfield. He'll make another man miss, and he's running up towards the 25 and gets tackled from behind as Reed Cogdell comes in, potential touchdown saving tackle on the kickoff return. What could have been terrible field position ends up a decent return, and Sullivan Central avoids catastrophe.
You said it the last drive. Smith looks like he is he's so agile. He's on his feet. He's moving quickly, cutting in and out of this defense like he's cutting in and out of traffic on a motorcycle or something. That's what he looked like. And right there, it looked like he was going to be down at the 8-yard line and somehow breaks it, takes it all the way up here to the 25. That's the kind of playmakers you like to see. That's the kind of playmakers we have on both sides. And for players that's going up into high school, you know the high school coaches love it too.
And I have seen Coach Kaler. I think he's walking down on the Chuckey-Doak sideline. So, yeah, just like you said, watching those young bucks, those up-and-comers, definitely some promise here in the middle school ranks. Reeves Smith, by the way, 3 carries for him on the offensive side of the ball, 22 yards and a touchdown. He's also got a catch for 10 yards, not to mention a decent return there. And a couple whistles will halt play before Sullivan Central can begin their third offensive drive of the evening. And it will be the second expended by Sullivan Central of the ball game. We'll take a step aside, return in 60. 5:11 left to play here in the second quarter. Your score remains Chuckey-Doak 14, Sullivan Central 6.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
My dad was born here in 1933. The Terry family has been around East Tennessee since that time, almost 100 years now. Over the past 25 years.
Well, coming out of the timeout, Sullivan Central with an offensive drive, their third of the ball game. And Wagner with the play-action pass. He gets dropped in the backfield. A sack for Deacon C. and that Black Knight defense. What a response on the first play of the drive as C gets behind and stops Sullivan Central short for a big sack on first down.
We saw it a lot in the last drive for this Chuckey-Doak defense. They was getting in the backfield, but it wasn't making contact with the quarterback. This time they made direct contact, swarmed him. He couldn't go nowhere. When he tried to cut upfield, great job tackling, wrapping him up. This Chuckey-Doak defensive line is stacking a lot more people in the box, but they're getting to the quarterback and making him have to make quick decisions.
4.5 left to play here in the half. You got to think if you're Sullivan Central, you need to convert here or you risk Chuckey-Doak with a late score in the half to put them up by 2 scores. Wagner reverses out. It's a handoff. The left tackle, Israel Ricketts, going to get stopped on the left side of the line of scrimmage. And again, that formidable defensive front, Conley, Estep, Woodby, duoing up for the tackle, and a host of other Black Knight defenders, including Skylar Nelson.
It took it just a couple of drives, but now this defensive line is starting to establish and say, hey, we're the bigger people here. We're going to wrap you up. You're not going to be able to run down our throats this whole game. You might have been able to the first couple of drives, but now we're putting it into it, and that's what they're doing here on this drive.
They've looked great so far. Under 4 to go now, and Sullivan Central lines up to attempt a 3-down conversion, and they're going to go hard count, and the Black Knight's going to jump offside, so it seems, and that's going to cut the down to go distance in half, bring up a 3rd and 5 directly from the 30-yard line.
Well, something that does happen when you start making big tackles is you might start getting a little antsy, start jumping a little bit, and that's exactly what they did there. That was a good spot to call the hard count for Central. But now, Chuckey-Doak, be disciplined. Last drive, you got killed the last drive specifically because you had 3 penalties back to back to back. Do not let it start piling back up here on this drive.
Right, 4th penalty of the game, all going against that Black Knight defense. This one makes it a much more manageable 3rd down as Wagner goes under center. 2 backs in the backfield. He'll turn around, read option with Ricketts, and he gets stopped and forced back. That Black Knight defense again with the push, and it's E-Step Woodby once again, this time preventing the Cougars from reaching that 1st down marker, and Chuckey-Doak going to save some time on the clock for their offense to put together a drive. 3:27 left to go. We take the break. Your score, it's Chuckey-Doak 14, Sullivan Central 6.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
4th and 4 from the Cougar 31-yard line, and it looks like that Sullivan Central coaching staff will leave the offense out on the field. You got to feel like this is a pivotal point in the game. Maybe put a star next to this one regardless of the outcome. You turn it over here, Chuckey-Doak with a short field to drive before the half's end. You convert. You could extend that drive, and again, they go hard count. Again, Chuckey-Doak will jump off sides, and you can negate what I just said. It's just a conversion. You don't have to run a play as Chuckey-Doak's defense will commit their 5th penalty of the first half.
Again, Chuckey-Doak's defense needs to be more disciplined. You're into the game now. You're fixing to be to halftime. The emotions should have weared off. You should now be playing your football. You got to get the mental mistakes out because eventually these are going to kill you. We saw it a lot this year that the mental mistakes kill teams.
3:27 left to go in the half. Wagner under center as Sullivan Central packs it in. A handoff to the halfback and a tackle again being made by that defensive front for Chuckey-Doak. This time it's TJ Greer on the stop after Ricketts plunges forward for a 5-yard gain.
And they're going to hurry up here. Clock's ticking. They know they need to go quick.
Chuckey-Doak creeping up towards the line of scrimmage and a play fake, and Wagner looking to boot it over to that left side and coming up with a big tackle in open space. It's Israel Colazo. Love the way he's played here tonight. He's come up huge on a couple tackles. This time going to force the Cougars back to now face a 3rd and long.
Central, they went quick. They thought they might have Chuckey-Doak on their heels. Chuckey-Doak's defense responds, says, no, you're not going outside. You went outside a lot on us this so far to this game. You went outside on that touchdown. They said, you're not going outside this time. Great job by Ricketts to make the tackle. And now it's 3rd and long, kind of pulling Central out of their system.
And you said it, Central wanting to go hurry up that previous play. Now you're a little bit more wary. You want to take a little bit more time off the clock. Just the one timeout remaining. Chuckey-Doak with all 3 of theirs left. Wagner, the under center snap, and rolling out. The play fake nearly intercepted, but caught by Reeves Smith near the line of scrimmage, taken down from behind by Chuckey-Doak. Another yellow pillow hits the field, and we await the call. Looks to go against the Black Knight defense once again.
I think it's actually a timeout. Maybe it's not.
And it's a personal foul against the Black Knight defense. The 6th of the first half, Derek. And at this point, it's looking like that Auburn-Georgia football game where we had so many penalties just delay the game, time in, time out. This time will prove costly as for a 2nd time this drive, it will move the chains, and Sullivan Central stays out onto the field. Their offense remains out there.
Yeah, it looks like they're going hurry up. They now have the momentum. That just killed all the momentum that Chuckey-Doak had, and now Central Central's, they've had 2 times now where this drive's stuttered, but they've started getting life again because of the Chuckey-Doak mental mistakes.
1st and 10 into plus territory. Wagner in the shotgun, looking to his left to his favorite target, Smith, but it falls incomplete. Pass thrown a little behind him. I think fortunately for the Cougs, it does stop the clock at 2 minutes, 3 seconds here in the second quarter, but 2nd and 10, and an offense that still hasn't moved the ball extremely well, but thanks to a couple of Chuckey-Doak penalties, you're still out on the field.
Well, for Central, their strategy for offense is run the football, but they're trying to get a little bit into the passing game because the clock's starting to tick against them. Chuckey-Doak's understanding it. They're jumping on the quarterback, and it's making the quarterback have to make quick decisions.
Well, Wagner looks much more comfortable under center. Now in obvious passing situations, he drops back to the shotgun, looking for his tight end on the corner round. That's Paxton Roberts, the intended target, but excellently defended there by the safety, Mikey Carricker, and it forces an incomplete pass. Mainly, Derek, are you telling your players, if you're the Chuckey-Doak coaching staff, just no penalties, clean play here, keep everything in front of you?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling them. Keep it ahead, keep it in front of you. Don't get there too early, because if you get there too early, it's going to be a PI call. Keep your head. Like, you can still get the ball back, and you still have 2 timeouts. You can have time to get your offense going, but you cannot make the mental mistakes here.
I might just make something up. I don't know. 6 penalties and a half. It's been pretty costly. Wagner, a quick passing game to the left side. It's Reeves Smith darting upfield, in and out of a tackle, and then brought down by Colossal near the line of game. They're going to give it to him. And another 3rd down conversion, this time on the 10-yard completion from Wagner to Smith.
That was just a simple, looked like a screen route, and Smith still make a couple people miss, roll over the Chuckey-Doak defender, go across the chains. This is what's going to kill the Chuckey-Doak defense. Sullivan Central is making a drive right now, and they are saying, we're going to do whatever we want to, and we're going to make you cause penalties, and that's what they're doing right now.
90 seconds remain in the half. Wagner, a drop-back pass, and he's brought down. 2nd sack of the first half of that Chuckey-Doak defense. Skylar Nelson, who's thrown his hat in on a couple run plays, finally gets back there to pressure the passer, and a big-time sack there on 1st down. Going to move the Cougars up to 2nd and very long.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want. Chuckey-Doak's been getting in the backfield a lot more on this drive than they have so far the whole first half, and it's showing. This quarterback for Central looks a little rattled. He's trying to go quick, trying to find an option, and if you don't find one option, maybe 2 options, all of a sudden Chuckey-Doak's defense is in his face, bringing him down. I'm really interested to see now what Central's going to do here, considering that that's the 3rd time they've been in the backfield on 4 plays.
2nd sack of the night for that Chuckey-Doak defense. Wagner dropped for a loss of 13 in these first 2 quarters. He'll drop back to pass once again, nearly sacked once more, but he completes the pass to Smith. He's running far sideline, shoestring tackle, won't be able to get him. And it's Reeves Smith prancing into the end zone for the 2nd time tonight, and the Cougars strike, and they're 2 points away from tying this one up.
Absolutely unbelievable. We got to see what the flag is. But that really was a very sketchy play call. They had people in the backfield. He got rid of it, and then Smith took it to the house.
Well, if it stands, it's a 44-yard touchdown pass from Wagner to Smith, and it will go against the Chuckey-Doak defense. Okay, I thought that might be the case. It looked like it was going to be tripping against that defensive back who tried to catch up to Smith, but again, Sullivan Central pulls the rabbit out of the hat. What looked like a surefire sack turns into a big play and a big touchdown score.
It looked like a surefire sack. Chuckey-Doak had 4 players within a yard of that quarterback, and somehow he stayed up, got rid of it. Smith grabbed it, and then he had 1 man to beat, and he just beat him with the speed, went on to the end zone, and now Central has an opportunity here to tie the game.
So you can negate the penalty. They'll wipe it off essentially, maybe assess it on the ensuing kickoff, but Sullivan Central going to line up to attempt the 2-point conversion. If successful, we're tied at 14. Wagner, the quarterback sneak, and a mess of bodies near the goal line. They're going to say he's down just short. 2-point conversion fails, and Chuckey-Doak hangs on by 2. Your score with 27 seconds left in the half, it's Chuckey-Doak 14, Sullivan Central 12.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
At Marathon Quick Stop Markets, you'll find a company that realizes that our customers are our biggest assets. We are a locally owned company, proud to serve our community. So we do everything with you in mind. We clean and sanitize our stores, provide a well-lit, monitored area to keep you and your family safe. You can always expect a friendly staff and a large selection of products with weekly specials. Stop in at a nearby Marathon Quick Stop Market today.
Well, on 3rd and 16, Sullivan Central connects on a 44-yard touchdown score with Reeves Smith taking it the distance, but a failed 2-point conversion later. And Chuckey-Doak hanging on to a 2-point lead with 27 seconds left in the half. Booting it away is Warren Belcher. Back deep to receive it for the Knights is Jackson Sutherland. He'll all but just fall on it. And the Black Knights will need to go 70-plus yards if they want to score here before the halftime break.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be shocked if they try to get something here because we've seen how explosive this Chuckey-Doak offense can be, especially with the 8th-grade veteran quarterback who, potentially can three-peat here tonight. So I would not be surprised if we see Chuckey-Doak try to do something. But right now, you think they're going to because they've been aggressive this first half. But if you're Central, that's a big win. Get a touchdown, get it within 2 before half. That kind of kills the momentum that Chuckey-Doak had. They need to regain it.
Well, just 24 seconds remain. We've seen that Black Knight rushing attack pretty heavily this first half, so you're going to be forced to air it out. Brody Myers thus far, just 1 of 1 for 22 yards, but he's made his impact more on the ground more so than the air attack. He'll line up, spread it out wide. 2 receivers either side, a back to his left. Sullivan Central going to back up the Dogs in the secondary. Empty backfield for the Knights as Myers drops back to pass. A penalty marker flies in on the far sideline, and it looks like we may have a procedure penalty against Chuckey-Doak, and it will be. False start against the Knights. Penalty number 8 in the first 2 quarters of play. The first against the Chuckey-Doak offense, but going to make the task even taller for that offense to drive a much longer field.
And that's just too much. 8 penalties in 1 half is just way too much for a team to have. And that's why this game the way it is. Chuckey-Doak's clearly been the better team so far in this first half.
Right.
But penalties have been killing them.
Well, Myers in the shotgun, similar set as before. Back offset to his left. He'll look to his left. Dodge a tackler for the sack, evaded, and look to scramble off the left side. He's going to reverse field here following some blockers. He's got some open space. He stiff arms another and then falls down towards the first down marker. Not sure if he's got the line of game. It seems they're going to mark him just a yard shy. And with 7 seconds left to go, Chuckey-Doak going to call its first timeout of the first half. We'll keep it right here, Derek. Going back to what you said about the penalties that have just killed the Knights here in this first half, you couple that with Sullivan Central not committing any, and I believe it's going to be a point of discussion here at halftime if you're going into the locker room, if you're Chuckey-Doak, just how can you improve and how can you stop helping that Sullivan Central offense and how can you stop hurting yourself at the same time?
You got to play your game, and that's where I think it's going to be. Coach is going to go into the locker room and say, we got to play our game. If we don't play our style of football, then that's not a good recipe for success, because right now Chuckey-Doak's defensively is playing the style of football that Central wants to play. Offensively, they're playing what they want to play, but that's their first penalty. Offensively, they've been doing great for the mental mistakes, but for defense, man, you just gotta get over that hump. And it's not like it's a face mask or pass interference calls. It's pre-procedure penalties, and that right there is the big thing because now it's in your head.
And all that to say, you're still leading by 2, a chance to put up even more if you can get a score on 1, maybe 2 final plays here in the second quarter. So despite all those mistakes, you're still up. So that's certainly something to, I guess, stay positive about. You're still better even after all the mistakes. Myers, drop back pass, and he's met in the backfield. Sullivan Central swarming to the football. And the Myers sack will send us to the halftime break. We played 2 quarters here in the Division II Area 1 Championship. Chuckey-Doak hanging on to a 2-point lead. A full halftime stats look and then a recap. We'll talk about it and everything that went on in those first 2 quarters when we return. Give us time to tally the stats, and we'll be right back. You're listening to the First Horizon Spotlight Game of the Week.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
So why sit on the sidelines when you could be driving a brand new Chevrolet, GMC, or Cadillac from Bachman Bernard in Greenville? Choose from the Silverado, Sierra, Terrain, Acadia, Equinox, Trax, Trailblazer, or Blazer. And wrap yourself in elegance and style while driving a Cadillac, Lyric, or the best vehicle on the planet, the Cadillac Escalade. So don't stumble, bumble, and fumble your way with other dealers. If we don't have it, we'll get it. Make the short trip to Bachman Bernard Chevrolet GMC Cadillac in Greenville, where we will save you money.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
At Food City, we make it easy for you to shop your way. Order online and pick it up curbside. Or have it delivered straight to your door with Instacart or DoorDash. Nobody does food like Food City. And now get it straight from our doors to yours.
Hello once again, and welcome back to the Black Hole for the Division II Area 1 Championship. Chuckey-Doak Middle School looking to three-peat despite the penalty-ridden first half, looking in good shape to do just that. They lead it by 2 over the Sullivan Central Cougars here at the halftime break, 14-12 on a beautiful evening for some football. Derek, a funny half of football because you had so many penalties, but you still lead by 2. You've looked good if not for those penalties. What were your main takeaways from that first half?
Yeah, the takeaways is the first quarter, Chuckey-Doak came out to play. They came out aggressive. They came out playing smart football. The defense was kind of still waking up. You know, its emotions high. You'd expect that in a game like this. Offensively came out, and they dominated early. And then the second quarter happened, and it was all Sullivan Central, felt like. Sullivan Central was controlling this game. Starting the second quarter, they scored that touchdown. End of the second quarter, they scored the other one to make it now 14-12. Chuckey-Doak had 8 penalties that first half. It felt like 6 of them happened in the second quarter. So for Chuckey-Doak, it just feels like it was a tale of 2 quarters. Instead of 2 halves, it was a tale of 2 quarters. First quarter, it looked like it was going to be not even a competition. And then the second quarter came around, and Sullivan Central said, hey, we got something to say about it. And Chuckey-Doak hurt themselves and said, all right, take it.
Very similar to that South Green middle school championship game from a week or week and a half from ago. Like we called that game, and it was one of those where South Green was in front throughout, a couple of mistakes, but instead it was turnovers instead of penalties for South Green Middle. But you still felt like they were the much better team through a half of play. You still felt like they controlled it throughout, and I think that's going to be a discussion for us when we get to your keys for the second half, is just how to bounce back. But instead of just not committing those penalties, how do you continue to put the foot on the gas if you're on offense and continue to get to the quarterback if you're that Chuckey-Doak defense?
Yeah, I mean, the Chuckey-Doak defense, they was showing signs of life at the end of that second quarter. They was getting in the backfield. There's, the last touchdown they had 4 people within a yard of that quarterback. Somehow he got it out. That was just a brilliant play by the quarterback. You got to tip your hat to him. But for Chuckey-Doak's defense, what's killing them is they ain't playing bad defense. They're playing really great defense, great coverage, letting a couple of the run gaps open a little bit. But other than that, they've played very good defense. It's just the penalties. It's the pre-snap penalties,
right,
the offsides, the
already that extended drives.
The personal fouls, like that stuff, that can't happen. A pass interference or a holding, that happens in football. It's a football play. But the personal fouls after the play, the pre-snap penalties, the offsides, that stuff just cannot happen, because that really hurts you in the long run. And we're seeing that right now, because we talked about it, the South Green game, the South Green game that we was at. I said, if you keep the scrappy underdog team in it, they're going to have a chance to win. And they had a chance to win in that game, and Sullivan Central's got a really good shot to win it in this game, because you're keeping them in it and you're not closing the game out.
An excellent point. Now as we enter our Nick Hershey Cardinal Financial scoring recap, let's go take a look at how this game began. Sullivan Central receives the opening kickoff. They drive it down inside near the red zone. They turn it over on downs. Black Knight defense with a crucial stop. 2 plays later, Brody Myers takes the botched play, turns it into a 58-yard touchdown run. Sullivan Central would then go on to respond. A Reeves Smith 5-yard touchdown run after the culmination of that long sustained drive. Chuckey-Doak, though, would not be outdone. They go down. They answer right back on a Zayden Shockey 12-yard carry as they put it into the end zone. But before the half, Sullivan Central again would find the end zone. On third and extended, it was Reeves Smith hauling in that 44-yard touchdown pass. Again, the drive that got extended due to the Chuckey-Doak penalties, that they were even in that position. I believe two offsides, like you said, those pre-snap penalties that converted Sullivan Central into first downs, and you kept them in it where they're now trailing by 2. They would not be successful for the 2-point try, but still in it, like you said, still leaving that scrappy team in it through 2 quarters. It's a dangerous thing to do if you're Chuckey-Doak, but big plays made by both sides, to be sure. Nelson and C with those 2 big sacks on the defensive side of the football for Chuckey-Doak. Brody Myers, the leading rusher for both sides, 73 yards rushing in that touchdown. He's also 1-for-1 passing for 22 yards. He's only thrown the ball once, did drop back a couple times before the half's end. But Zayden Shockey, another excellent half from him. 3 carries, 54 yards, and a touchdown. Jackson Sutherland, that is, the sole recipient of that Myers pass for 22 yards. Meanwhile, on the other side, Wagner, the quarterback, 4 for 6 for 65 total yards. No scores, no interceptions. Clean play in terms of not turning the football over for both sides. And then running the football, Reeves Smith has been their lead man. 3 carries, 22 yards, and a score. But catching the football is where Smith has excelled. 4 catches, 65 yards, and a score. Ricketts, the halfback, 25 yards on his 5 carries. And our total splits through one half of football. Total offense goes to the Black Knights, 155 total yards for that Chuckey-Doak offense, just 101 for the opposition. Running the football, 36 yards for the Cougs, 133 rushing yards for the Black Knights in that first half. Just 22 yards passing for Chuckey-Doak, 65 for the much more, at least seemingly, run-heavy offense in Sullivan Central. What do you make of those first half stats, Derek, and what jumps off the page to you?
Well, the first thing that jumps off the page is Reeves Smith. He is absolutely come out here to play. And I don't think those stats tell you how he played. He came out here, and he just, when he's on the field, you can feel his presence on the field. He's making people miss, getting the ball great. And for Brody Myers, you talked about it. He dropped back a couple of times in that first half, only threw 1 pass. But there's a lot of times he was able to break down in coverage. He scored that touchdown off of a breakdown. He just decided to keep the ball, took it to the house. So both teams have their special players, I guess, they're big guys that they're going to come out here with. But right now it's a whole team game, and Central, their best defense right now is to keep Chuckey-Doak off the field.
Well, just about ready to get the second half underway. Your score at the halftime break before we resume. It is Chuckey-Doak 14, Sullivan Central 12. The Knights looking to three-peat, that is, when we come back. You're listening to the First Horizon Spotlight Game of the Week.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Well, they turned the lights on here from the Black Hole. Now underneath the Monday night lights in the Area 1 Championship. Chuckey-Doak looking to three-peat, looking to avenge its loss from earlier this season against the Sullivan Central Cougars. Happy Columbus Day also. Derek Charlton, Tyler Nichols rejoin us here from Lower Afton. Matthew Palazzo saying hello once again from Elevated Field Side, where we may not see another football game here this calendar year. So something to be sad about, but if you can go out on a high note, that's certainly reassuring and encouraging. Brody Myers shown on your screen there talking with newly minted head coach Jacob Willett on the Chuckey-Doak sideline. Willett knows a thing or two about quarterbacking here in the Black Hole, so I'm told. And as we await the start of this second half, Derek, just again, your thoughts. Chuckey-Doak, despite the penalties, ahead by 2. We're going to get your keys to success. What does Chuckey-Doak need to continue to do and maybe start to do come this second half to succeed and deliver on the three-peat?
Offensively, run the football. Central's not shown they can stop you running the football, so why do something else? Just run the football on Central until they show you can stop them. And I think it comes without saying. Stop making penalties. It's defensively and offensively. Be smart. Play your game. Because if you play your game, you can win this football game.
Warren Belcher set to kick it away to start this second half. Back deep to receive for the Black Knights. It is Aiden Shockey and Jackson Sutherland. So Chuckey-Doak to receive this second half kickoff. Shockey goes back. It slips out of his hands. He races back towards the 15-yard line and takes it upfield. Following a blocker, he's got an inch of space covered, draped all over him. He'll step out of a tackle. He's got one man to beat. He's running off away from us. Shockey inside the 20, inside the 10, rumbling all the way for a Chuckey-Doak touchdown out of the gates. Chuckey-Doak makes it 20-12 after a kickoff return touchdown, and Zayden Shockey finds pay dirt from 85 yards out.
That is how you want to start if you're Chuckey-Doak. You came out that second quarter sloppy. We was talking about it. You did not have much going for you offensively. Why not get a kick return to start the half? Build the momentum up. Put the pressure on Central. Great blocking for the kick return there. I don't think you could have drawn it up better for Chuckey-Doak to start the second half.
And it looked like he was going to race all the way back to the 10. It looked like a near disaster of a kickoff return, and he springs it into a huge play, and Brody Myers on the quarterback power will pile it in, tack 2 more onto the Chuckey-Doak lead. The advantage now at 10 with 7:40 left to go in the third quarter. Your score, it's Chuckey-Doak 22, Sullivan Central 12, off to a hot start as we enter the second half of this First Horizon Spotlight Game of the Week.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
(22-12), our updated score. Not even a play into this second half, and Zayden Shockey takes it 85 yards to the house on the opening kickoff of the second half. You talked about starting fast. You talked about responding, Derek. I can't think of a better response than what we just saw.
Yeah, that was absolutely the best response that you could have had for Chuckey-Doak. You know, we came out a little bit sloppy that second quarter. We talked about that in the halftime. went over everything that needed to be fixed. They just said, all right, we're going to fix it. No holding penalties, no pre-procedure penalties. We don't even need to put anybody on the field to make that happen. Let's just get a touchdown on the kick return.
54 yards and a touchdown on the ground for Shockey, and an 80. We'll just call it 85 for all intents and purposes. An 85-yard kickoff return touchdown right out of the gates as we begin. And Mikey Carricker set to kick it away for the Black Knights. Offsides, the penalty against the Knights, and again another penalty to add to that total, which is now at 9 through 2 quarters and 20 seconds of play. Carricker set to square it away. Sullivan Central back deep to receive. Will send Israel Ricketts and Reese Smith back deep. Ricketts, the return man, will race towards us near sideline. He's got some space and coming in late for the tackle. A couple of good returns here as we begin the second half. Tegan Hester with a nice shoestring tackle, but Sullivan Central able to put it into plus territory on their first drive of the second half.
It feels a little bit different for both teams here in the starting the second half. You had the kick return for the touchdown. You had this great kick return from Central there. It feels a little bit different. It feels like now the emotions are setting in that both teams are going to have to step up their game to get a championship. This is why you love championships. The emotions are high. You can feel it off the field. This is why you love them.
And that's why you love this brewing rivalry between these two squads. The area, at least through the last 3 years, have run through these two programs. Of course, Chuckey-Doak losing to Central earlier in the season, but looking to repeat their success from a year ago in the championship game against this Cougars program. So the opening play, at least offensively, of the second half will be a run up the middle for Israel Ricketts, and that'll be good for a 2.5-yard gain as Central moves up to now face a 2nd and 8 from the Black Knight 44-yard line.
Yeah, those kind of plays right there you can live with if you're the Chuckey-Doak defense. Central's going to get a couple of yards, but if you hold them to 2 or less yards, they're not going to get that first down on 4 plays.
2nd and 8 coming up. Wagner under center will turn around. It's a play fake, and he's got a man. It's Reese Smith just outside of his wheelhouse, and it falls incomplete to bring up 3rd and 8 again. Black Knight defense facing a critical 3rd down. You like to limit the mistakes and keep that offense from converting here on 3rd down.
Yeah, this is a big spot. Chuckey-Doak will gain all the momentum, and it could put this game out of reach if Chuckey-Doak can get a good stop here on 3rd down, because this is 4th down territory. If you can make them lose yardage, it might make Sullivan Central think a little bit.
Chuckey-Doak defense that limited the opposition to just 100 total yards in the first half of play. Wagner under center will reverse out. Another play fake. They go play action pass, looking for the tight end right over his head. Great coverage in the defensive backfield by Mikey Carricker and Israel Colazo. Incomplete pass. You'd like to think the offense will stay out for the Cougs.
You would think that, especially with the scoreboard the way it is. You're down by 10, 6:47 to go in the 3rd quarter. This is a big play. This feels like a potential game-changing play. Central gets it. They're 100% still in this football game. Chuckey-Doak gets a stop. All momentum's on Chuckey-Doak's side. This is a big play here early in the second half.
Oh, it looks like Sullivan Central will send the punt unit out there, and they'll boot it away from their own, or from the Chuckey-Doak, 44. Wagner, the punter for the Cougs. It's going to be a fake punt. He'll throw it out in the flats, and it's tackled by that Chuckey-Doak defense. Read perfectly, and Deacon C, a sack already here tonight, adds a 2nd tackle for loss, but none so bigger than that one. 6:45 to go, and Chuckey-Doak's offense will have the ball after reading the fake punt well and stopping the Cougars on 3rd and 4th down.
Chuckey-Doak left their defense on there. I didn't see a return man back. I think they was expecting a fake. They was thinking Sullivan's not going to do anything besides go for it on this one. Great play. Great job seeing the play as it developed. And he was right there when the ball hit the player's hands. There was no way that wide receiver was going anywhere for Sullivan Central.
So we haven't seen this Chuckey-Doak offense on the field yet this second half, and the opening play of their first drive out of the gates will be a tough run in between the tackles. Zayden Shockey, who took that return 85 yards to the house, will pick up 10 on a play in which he was met at the line of scrimmage, just carries defenders all the way to the 1st down marker, and we'll have a penalty marker fly in late. And for the first time tonight, Sullivan Central will record its first penalty of the evening and turn that shocky 10-yard carry into a 25-yard gain there after they tack on 15 more to the end of the run. So automatic first down, and the Black Knights are marching at the Cougar 25.
The friend momentum has just completely left the Sullivan Central sideline all over here on Chuckey-Doak, and you could feel it. Chuckey-Doak, that run, they looked angry when they was running that football. They got the first down, got the foul.
Myers in the shotgun. Central going to dial up the blitz, and Myers off to the left. Power run, spinning past defenders inside the 10-5. Touchdown, Brody Myers for a second time tonight. And the Knights stepping on the gas as we begin the second half.
That is exactly what you ordered for in this second half. Come out hot, come out quick, put this game out of reach before Central can even react. That is exactly what Chuckey-Doak's doing here. That kick return touchdown. Great run there by Brody Myers. And now this game's starting to get out of hand. Chuckey-Doak's running away with it.
A kickoff return touchdown and a 26-yard rushing touchdown from Brody Myers. And the Black Knights have extended their lead, 28-12, pending the two-point conversion as Myers lines up in the shotgun. Two receivers either side. Another excellent run, and the quarterback run game continues to prove beneficial for that Black Knight offense. Myers takes the snap, looks to plunge it up the middle. He'll bounce it off left side and prance into that end zone. Tack two more onto that scoreboard. Chuckey-Doak leads at 30-12 over Sullivan Central, a three-peat in reach. 6:20 left to play in the quarter. We take the break. You're listening to the First Horizon Spotlight Game of the Week.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
So why sit on the sidelines when you could be driving a brand new Chevrolet, GMC, or Cadillac from Bachman Bernard in Greenville? Choose from the Silverado, Sierra, Terrain, Acadia, Equinox, Trax, Trailblazer, or Blazer. And wrap yourself in elegance and style while driving a Cadillac, Lyric, or the best vehicle on the planet, the Cadillac Escalade. So don't stumble, bumble, and fumble your way with other dealers. If we don't have it, we'll get it. Make the short trip to Bachman Bernard Chevrolet GMC Cadillac in Greenville, where we will save you money.
Brody Myers punches it in from 26 yards out, and it's all Chuckey-Doak as we come out of the break. 6:20 left to go in the third quarter. Mikey Carricker puts it on the opposing 15-yard line. Racing back to retrieve it is Israel Ricketts, and he gets swarmed by the kickoff coverage team. Rowan C. and Skylar Nelson team up for the tackle. Derek, we've seen Coach Kaler roaming the sidelines here at times today. You got to feel like he's got to find a way to get Brody Myers on the field next year. 2 rushing touchdowns, 99 rushing yards already, has controlled that Chuckey-Doak offense and orchestrated several successful drives, the most recent of which putting the Knights up by 18.
There is certain people that has certain talents that you can't keep them on the sideline to grow on a year. Not saying he is going to be the quarterback for the high school, but there's got to be ways,
right.
Wildcat, something you can put him in. He's just too talented to sit on the sideline all year.
Already 6'4" as an 8th grader, too. He's certainly got the size, and after a spring season or an off season of weight training, definitely going to be in play for next year. End around run for the Cougars, and it's stopped well short in the backfield, and Reeves Smith unable to run out of one more tackle. He's brought down inside the 10-yard line, and that swarming Black Knight defense continues to be a thorn in the Cougar side.
Yeah, great job getting in the backfield from the Black Knights. Reeves Smith breaks the one tackle, but, he was able to – that was one he probably should have went down on because you lost about 4 more yards because Chuckey-Doak was all over you.
A loss of 12 yards will bring up 2nd and 22 from the Cougars' 10-yard line. So we talked about it. Brody, need to get that helmet fixed. Might need to go see our friends at Gary's Paint and Body Shop. I know they work on cars. Maybe they work on football helmets because he's got all that paint chipped off. Thankfully, it is the last game of the season, so he's got plenty of time to get that worked out.
They definitely will fix it.
Sullivan Central facing a second down and 22. Again, they go with that motion. This time it's Reeves. He's going to drop back to pass after the handoff and get brought down for another Chuckey-Doak sack. Carter Chapman with the third Black Knight sack of the evening, and this one makes matters much more difficult for the Cougars. Third and a bus ride to go.
Coach Willett must have came in to that locker room at halftime and lit a fire into these boys because they came out this second half and they are firing on all cylinders. Offensively, defensively, they can't be stopped no matter what. In the backfield, when the ball is snapped, this is a completely different team than the first half.
4.5 left to play here in the third quarter. You're already up by 2 scores if you're chugging it. Well, now 3 scores after the 2-point conversion. 30-12, you lead it. Looking to three-peat as Area 1 champions. And you got to think a stop here on third down would increase your chances all the more. Wagner lines up in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the left, a back offset to his right. He'll drop back to pass, looking over the middle. He lofts it up to the tight end, and it's caught. Paxton Roberts hauls it in over 2 defenders and rumbles down. Not quite into plus territory, but that one moves the chains in a huge way. A pickup of 30 or more yards, and the Sullivan Central offense able to stay out on the field.
Well, just when you think all hope is lost for Sullivan Central, they say, we ain't done yet. This is our championship, too. We're not going down without a fight. Excellent thrown ball, excellent catch, and then gets a little rack yardage afterwards.
Paxton Roberts on the reception there, just the second receiver for the Cougars to catch a pass all night. A quick screen game to the left side and well defended there by Deacon C. 2nd and 10 now for the Cougs.
Going back to that last play, we ain't seen a deep ball from Central this whole game. We ain't seen them go that far deep. So Chuckey-Doak is playing closer, playing the run, playing the short passing game. That was a great job for Central to pull that out. And now Chuckey-Doak knows that they're a threat to do that now, so now they can kind of re-scheme their defense, make sure somebody's back watching that.
It's a great throw by Wagner, who was facing pressure on the play. Brody Myers just a second away from the Black Knights' 4th sack of the ball game. Wagner looking to go to the air once again. He'll air it out deep left sideline, and it's incomplete after Tegan Hester comes in late to defend, bringing up a 3rd and 10 from the Cougar 49.
Yeah, Central's trying to capitalize off that big play, going 2 thrown balls, 2 pass plays here. 1st and 2nd down pass plays. Chuckey-Doak, they're aware of the pass now. They're playing it a lot better defensively, a lot more coverage. This is 4-down territory for Central, so you would like to see them maybe run the football, get a couple of yardage, and then try to scheme up for 4th.
Time running out for the Cougars. 2 receivers go out to the left. Wagner, the shotgun snap. They run the tunnel screen for Reeves Smith. He's got a bevy of blockers in front of him, and he springs free. Running opposite sideline now. Inside the 30, inside the 20, inside the 10, and he gets wrapped down and taken down by the Chuckey-Doak secondary. Fortunately for Chuckey-Doak, there is a flag on the field just outside of the 35-yard line. But otherwise, an excellent play dialed up there by the Cougar offensive staff.
Yeah, we'll see what the flag is, but again, you get it into Smith's hands, it's always a threat to go far and go into the end zone. And that was a great play as it's going to come back. But that was a great play call by Central. But again, you kind of get rid of those penalties because now that cost you big.
Well, that 40-yard reception wiped off the board due to the holding penalty. And at least this second half, 2 penalties already for the Cougs. This one much more costly than the first. It's going to keep them out of the red zone. It's going to force them all the way back to their own 39. Or unless it would be a spot foul. And the holding call must have been near the 35, so well downfield. We'll replay 3rd down, this time from the plus 46. Wagner breaks the huddle. Reeves Smith, everybody's eyes on that kid. He's made a heck of a play, it seems like, in every drive so far. He goes out to the right in the slot. Wagner takes the shotgun snap, looking for his tight end, and he's swarmed in the backfield. 2 Black Knight defenders run through unscathed. Skylar Nelson and Conley Estep Woodby team up for the sack. And it puts Wagner and co. well behind the chains for 4th down.
Have you a day, Chuckey-Doak defensive line? The first half, they were antsy. Something wasn't clicking right. They was getting foul. penalty, pre-snap penalties. But right now, this second half's a whole different ballgame. They're swarming at the quarterback, playing discipline. This quarterback don't have time to even look up before he's got multiple black jerseys in front of him.
4th and 11 for the Cougs. Skylar Nelson, by the way, a sack and a half here tonight. This Chuckey-Doak defense, like you said, just swarming throughout. 5 total sacks for them to go along with that play on special teams. They've been excellent in those 2 phases, and certainly offense as well, and they will be again. It's Skylar Nelson, or excuse me, Conley Eastep would be getting in the backfield a second straight time, tack another sack onto that Chuckey-Doak total, but more importantly, Sullivan Central will turn it over on downs, and Chuckey-Doak really a first down or 2 away from just icing this one and securing another area championship.
Yeah, this is a ice kind of drive. I like that word ice that you just said, the ice kind of drive right there. You're icing the game because right here, you can run the football. Chuckey-Doak has shown that they run the football. That's how they've been getting this lead. Runs the clock down. Another touchdown here ends it, you'd feel like.
2:08 on the clock, guys.
This Chuckey-Doak team now holds this game in their own hands as long as no penalties or turnovers happen.
2:08 on the clock. The Black Knight offense will now set up shop with a short field. 2 receivers out to the left side of the formation. Myers with the back offset to his left. He'll drop back to pass, looking to his right, now left. He's got a man deep over the middle on the post, and is just overthrown beyond the outstretched hands of Jackson Sutherland. Good defense there by the Cougars secondary, but you talk about things you don't expect. You wouldn't expect Chuckey-Doak to air it out on the first play, but hey, sometimes that is the coach's philosophy. You get a big turnover, you take a shot directly after.
Yeah, and also you catch Sullivan Central's defense off guard. They're expecting you to run the football in the spot like this, so they said, look, we might have some one-on-one opportunities. Might as well try to throw the football and get a big play there, but for Sullivan Central, it's a great defense. Overthrown ball. That's kind of a break for Sullivan Central.
Well, now we've officially reached the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter. Myers, the shotgun snap. Again, the read option. He'll take it up the gut, move out to the left side, bouncing off a few tremendous blocks by the Chuckey-Doak offensive line, and he gets dragged down late into the play right around the 20-yard line, and a flag will fly in extremely late by the line judge. Myers rumbling forward for a gain of about 20 on the carry, and we await the call from the officiating crew.
I thought the referee took a good shot to the head there by Myers trying to fight away from that tackle, but Myers, he don't want to go down. He don't go down, and he's got strength along with speed. That's a great philosophy for a football player.
We got 2 flags also back to where the original line of scrimmage was. So 3 total flags on the play. We could see offsetting penalties here. The first one will be blocked in the back against the Black Knights. And it seems they're going to pick up the most recent penalty marker. But it looked like it could have been a horse collar on the play for that Sullivan Central tackler. Hey, again, it goes against the Knights. 10 total penalties against Chuckey-Doak through a little over 2.5 quarters of play.
Yeah, I agree. That one penalty of right when the play ended looked like it could have been unnecessary roughness as well, but the refs decided to pick the flag up for that one. But again, Chuckey-Doak hurting themselves, keeping Sullivan Central.
Oh, wow. So, no, there's 2 fouls assessed on the play, and it's a personal foul against Chuckey-Doak on the tail end of that play. So that play goes against Brody Myers, and that is horrendous. That is a terrible call.
Yeah, I don't think that would have been my first call. It's definitely on the defense, if anything, because he continued to pull him even when the whistle was blown. I don't agree with that call at all.
That is not good. He gets thrown into the official, and I think that's how the call came about on the personal foul front. But he gets slung in there by his horse collar. How do you call that against Myers? Wow, the officiating has not been kind to the Black Knights here tonight. Myers will look to air it out. He's got a man open, wide open. It's Israel Colossal, and he's got it on the right hash, moving inside the 20, inside the 10. Touchdown, Black Knights. You stack the cards against them. It doesn't matter. From 65 yards out, Myers to Colossal, and the Black Knights continue to pour it on.
Brody Myers just said, "You're not going to give me the right call? I don't need it." Second, it looked like 37. A beautiful thrown ball. Catch, touchdown, Chuckey-Doak now firmly in the driver's seat. They just said if the refs ain't going to help us, that's fine. We're going to be in the spot. Now Chuckey-Doak goes up and is comfortably in the lead here and comfortably looking to be three-peat.
And on the first pass play of the second half, it goes 65 for a score. Colossal wide open in the seam. A beautifully thrown ball there by Brody Myers. And the Black Knights extend their lead 36-12. Now, 2-point conversion. We have a penalty thrown as well. And it was Colossal again, the recipient of that pass. And a little slow to get up. He'll make his way off the playing surface. In will come Logan Kuklowski, one of my favorite names on this Chuckey-Doak team.
Penalty goes against the Knights. Point after, no good.
And to no surprise, the penalty goes against Chuckey-Doak. So 2-point conversion fails. We step aside. Minute 30 left to go in the quarter. Chuckey-Doak extends its lead, 36-12. The three-peat well inside here in the Area 1 Championship. This is the First Horizon Spotlight Game of the Week.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Tommy's Plumbing has been in business for 30 years, and we're still growing because we treat our customers like family. We are proud to do any job from kitchen faucet installation to a complete home repipe. Tommy's Plumbing offers warranties on most products installed by our technicians. When the job is done, our friendly professionals make sure to clean up. We invite you to visit our new showroom in Jonesboro to see our quality products for yourself.
1:29 left to go in the half. A few moments removed from possibly the greatest ball don't lie play of the season. And on the ensuing kickoff, Reeves Smith continues to show what an incredible athlete he is, taking the kickoff return all the way to the opposing 30-yard line. But, Derek, you talk about a response. Black Knights backed up, what'd you call it, 2nd and 37?
Yeah, that's exactly what I called it. And that's the best response that you could do. That pumps up your whole team. That pumps up the fans. That pumped up me up here. I mean, to have a bad call go against you, to put you back 27 yards behind the original sticks,
yeah,
and then you looked like a 35-yard pass to all of a sudden get a touchdown. That's the biggest ball don't lie. I like that, what you just said. The ball don't lie play. And Brody Myers is having himself a night.
Myers to Colossal for the 65-yard score. And that's kind of what you said at halftime. Even if you aren't able to, overcome the penalties, you got to make big plays to erase those mistakes. And so far, the Black Knights have done that, not only in that first half, but running away with it here in the second. Wagner in the shotgun. He'll look to his left. He's got a man in the flats on the swing pass, and coming in from behind for the tackle there is Conley Estep Woodby. I've really enjoyed the way he's played in this third quarter.
Feels like every play that there's a tackle, you're calling his name. He's been everywhere. He's been in the backfield, but he's also been in the passing game, in that mid-range, making those tackles. That's what you really like to see from a young player like him.
Paxton Roberts with the 5-yard catch and run, and it cuts the to-go distance in half. The Cougars set up well inside their 25 with 45 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Knights lead it by 24, 36-12 after the Colossal catch and run. Wagner in the gun. 3 men to his left and a back as well. He's got a man. It's Reeves Smith once again. He'll break a tackler. Shifty in space, and he'll dodge another before getting pushed out of bounds by Israel Colossal on the far sideline.
Yeah, there's a lot of a sense of urgency here for Sullivan Central.
for our first.
They understand they're down. They're going to have to pass the ball. If you're Chuckey-Doak, you're just going to sit back and say, don't get in front of me. If you get in front of me, or if you stay in front of me, we're going to be fine. But if you get behind me, then we're going to have issues, because the more they tackle in bounds, the more clock runs.
Fresh set of downs for the Cougars inside the Gary's Paint and Body red zone from the Black Knight 15. Wagner to drop back to pass. He looks to his right. He's got Reeve Smith for a second straight time, and he'll shrug off a tackler and then lunge towards the pylon, just a yard or two shy. And the Cougars once again move the chains, marching ever closer to the end zone. Another 12-yard catch for Reeve Smith. Man, how about the play from Smith here and the Cougars? We'll talk about it first thing. As the fourth quarter begins, we played 3 here from Lower Afton. Chuckey-Doak leads 36-12, a three-peat, a quarter away here from the Black Hole. You're listening to the First Horizon Spotlight Game of the Week.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Whether you ride, haul, or work, CNC has what moves you from dirt roads to job sites. We've got the gear to get you there. Hardworking equipment, helpful people, and honest advice. Whether you haul tools, toys, or livestock, CNC Custom Trailers has the equipment you need and the upgrades you want.
Coming out of the break, it's a quarterback sneak for the Cougars as Wagner looks to pile in to the end zone. On the 2-yard line, looks like he got half the distance needed, if that. And after the foot gain, Cougars line it up again. We've seen the quarterback sneak a number of times here today. Chuckey-Doak going to stack the box, put 8 up along the line of scrimmage, and Wagner looks to sneak it in again, but he gets pulled back and stopped just short. Once again, 3rd and goal now for the Cougs.
2 great, quick stops for this Chuckey-Doak defense. I've mentioned it. This team looks different coming out of the halftime. The defense is getting in the backfield really quickly. First half, the Cougars are doing whatever they wanted to, running the football. Second half, they're struggling to get a yard to get in the end zone. Chuckey-Doak is all over them right now.
Could you imagine the reaction of this place if you can stop them for 2 more plays on defense?
It would go berserk.
Under 7 to go here in the ball game. Wagner will line up in the gun. Tight end and a back to his left. He's got a man in the flats, nearly batted away. It's Reeve Smith spinning past the defender, miraculously dancing into the end zone. Reeve Smith hauls in a 1-yard touchdown catch, and the Cougars with a good response.
We all should have known who it was going to. Reeve Smith, one of the biggest bright spots for Sullivan Central. He is absolutely unstoppable. He can't be tackled. One-on-one, you're going to lose because he's going to make you miss. He's by far the biggest bright spot that Sullivan Central has.
Well, he's the reason the Cougars have 18 points on the board. He's had each score for that Sullivan Central offense, the most recent of which coming on the 1-yard touchdown catch. Now 36-18, a 2-point conversion here would make it a 16-point 2-possession game, and that is what it will be. 2-point conversion is good as Ricketts walks in untouched. Your updated score was 6.5 to go with Chuckey-Doak 36, Sullivan Central 20.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Looking for a garage door without the long wait? At D&D Garage Door Supplier of Greenville, you'll find Safeway brand garage doors delivered in just 9 business days. Why wait 4 to 6 weeks when your new door could be rolling up sooner? They're your one-stop shop with over 25 years of experience, offering doors, parts, installs, and openers, including LiftMaster motors, overheads, and side mounts. Dealers, go check them out. They've got everything you need to get the job done right. Stop by 107 Bohannon Avenue or call 423-278-0622. D&D Garage Door Supplier. Reliable, trustworthy, and opening doors for you every day.
Sullivan Central with a much-needed score. They cut it to a 2-possession game as Warren Belcher will line up to attempt the onside kick. An end-over-end bouncer that goes into the hands of the Black Knight return team. Excellent hands there by the Black Knights. I believe that was Logan Kuglowski that jumps on that one. So well executed by the hands team, and now you look up at the clock and you're 6 minutes 35 seconds away from officially becoming three-peat champions here in Area 1.
Yeah, so for Chuckey-Doak, there's 2 key things to keep this drive alive and run the clock. No penalties, no turnovers.
Well, the offense will begin from the minus 48-yard line. Brody Myers back in there. 4-receiver set with a running back to his left. Myers, the shotgun snap. It'll be a handoff up the middle as Aiden Shockey marches forward for a gain of 3 on the play.
That's exactly what you wanted for the Chuckey-Doak offense. Short gain, keep that clock a ticking, because if you get a first down, it stops the clock. So you're okay with these short 2nd and 7s, 3rd and 4s. As a coach, I would be okay with that because it keeps the clock running.
Keep that clock rolling. Keep moving north is what I would say. That's the 2 most important things. Aiden Shockey does just that on the first play of the drive. Brody Myers will sprint out to his right. Designed run. And no, looks like he's going to look to pass, and he'll break a couple tackles before getting taken down inside the 45. And just 3-4 yards, that's all you need to keep that clock moving. You stay in bounds, which brings up a 3rd and 3 from the 44.
That's exactly what you need. Looked like it was a breakdown, and Brody Myers didn't like what he's seen. But Brody Myers has been able to play off script so well in this game. And that is a big key on why Chuckey-Doak's up on the scoreboard right now.
That's an excellent point. He has turned those almost busted plays into big plays, and that's exactly what you need from a playmaker. And a starting quarterback, absolutely, going to help you out. And looks like Israel Kalatzel a little quick, jumps the gun in the slot, and it'll be a false start against the Black Knights. Now, Derek, I haven't agreed with a ton of these calls here tonight, but I think I agree with that one.
Yeah, that one was clear, and the emotions are now starting to kind of set in a little bit more in a different way. You know you're up. You're thinking, all I need to do is just block it, but I need to get quick to block it. You just still got to kind of remember you don't need these penalties because that just stopped the clock.
And still 13 penalties for Chuckey-Doak tonight. Pretty eye-opening. But they're still in plus territory. From the Cougar 49, Brody Myers. 2 receivers to the left, the tight end and a receiver to the boundary. Myers fakes the pass to the left, looking over the middle. He's got Collazo wide open again. He catches it at the 25. Stiff arm Smith, and Smith gonna sling him down, but Collazo, his second big catch in the second half, and it puts the Black Knights inside the Gary's Paint and Body red zone after the pickup of 34 yards.
That's exactly what you need if you're Chuckey-Doak. Get that first down. Let that clock tick. No rushing getting this play in. That was a beautiful pass, too, by Brody Myers. Beautiful catch. And then, again, rack yardage. We don't talk about this enough, but being able to make a man miss and get a couple more yardage on that catch, that's still very huge.
Man, Collazo, something he does best. We saw it on that 65-yard touchdown catch as well. Even if that first defender comes, you're able to break away from it, turn it into a much bigger play. On the carries, Aiden Shockey. Off the left guard's tail and falls forward for a gain of about 5 on the play. So another productive gain there. We'll call it 2nd and 6 coming up.
Second down.
Inside the 15.
You can really see now how this Chuckey-Doak offensive line, the big bodies they have, is kind of wearing and tearing on this Sullivan Central defensive line. They've been hitting all game long. Chuckey-Doak just looks like they got a little bit more of the edge here as we continue to tick down at the end of the game.
Knight's going to go with a hard count and draw that Cougar defensive front off sides. And that will certainly aid the efforts and put the Knights one step closer to punching it in the box.
That's exactly what you wanted for Chuckey-Doak, because now instead of 2nd and 6, you have a 2nd and 1. That really helps your confidence to gain third, but it really helps your confidence.
3rd and less than a yard here for Myers. He's going to take the ball, just a quarterback power up the center of the field in formation and reaching out towards that line to gain. I believe he's going to be just short, which forces a 4th and inches situation, which I'm sure Coach Willett going to leave the offense out there for.
I would definitely leave the offense out there to continue to let the clock tick. You got Brody Myers. You got the tailback. They both have proved that they can't be stopped. So just a couple inches of like a football length, maybe a foot past the football. Yeah, I like the decision here.
A stop here for Sullivan Central, and that would give them new life. 3 timeouts still, down 2 scores. But a first down here all but ends it for Chuckey-Doak. Brody Myers directing traffic. Sullivan Central going to crowd the line of scrimmage, and the hard count again. This one looks to go against Chuckey-Doak. Looked like a receiver jumped the gun, and it will back the Knights up 5 more yards to now face a 4th and 5. And again, the penalty bug strikes.
Most of the time, you don't do a hard count to get your own team off sides, but sometimes it happens.
Sullivan Central will take a timeout, talk things over. We will too. Return in 30 seconds. 2:54 left to play here in the ball game. Chuckey-Doak looking to finish it.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Fourth and 5 here for the Black Knight offense as we welcome you out of the break, and another mistake. Penalty number 15 on the day for the Black Knights. This one will push them back well beyond the sticks. Now 4th and long.
Yeah, you can't have 15 penalties. Like that cannot happen, period. No matter who you are, no matter what game you're in, no matter what the scoreboard says, 15 penalties shows you that you're very undisciplined in this game.
They got a chance to make everyone forget about that. Myers looking over the middle. He's got a man. It's Jackson Sutherland, and incomplete pass, say the officials. Sutherland unable to trap it, and the incomplete pass will turn the ball over on downs. A couple of big mistakes with some false starts, and Chuckey-Doak now forced on the defensive.
Just when you think Chuckey-Doak is going to run away with it and be able to close the game, Sullivan Central's right back there. Chuckey-Doak hurts themselves with penalties, and now Sullivan Central, they're going to have to work quick. They still have timeouts. They're down by 16, 2 possessions, and you still have just a little under 3 minutes left. They can definitely come back, but they can't do their traditional run-style offense.
2:47 left to play. You laid it out perfectly, Derek. 2-score game, but you still got to connect on two-point conversions as well. Certainly no small feat. Wagner will send Smith in motion, the orbit motion, the end around, and it's a double reverse. Up runs Israel Ricketts. He's got a lead blocker out in front. He's got one man to beat, and it's Collazo, and he sheds the tackle. Brody Myers comes in late, and the touchdown-saving tackle on the double reverse Sullivan Central pulls a rabbit out of the bag, and they go down into plus territory. A huge gain, and sets their offense up nicely.
Just scratch what I just said about not running the football. If you can run it that effectively and pull that out of your hat, run the football as much as you want. We talked about it before the game started. You're going to throw all your cards out on the table. Sullivan Central, everything in your playbook's open. That's a great way to start.
47-yard carry there for Ricketts. And once again, Smith comes in motion, very similar to that play before. This time it's a fake double reverse, and Smith has it running away, and Colossal comes up a huge stop on the corner before Smith can get away, and almost identical to that play before, but instead of handing it off, Smith going to fake the pitch, and well read by that corner on the opposite side of the field. That's Israel Colossal.
That's definitely also the first time we saw Smith get the ball, and one person's brought him down. Great tackle by Colossal, bringing him down inbounds, keeping the clock tick now under 2 minutes. Sullivan Central needs to go quick. Chuckey-Doak's defense, just don't let nothing get behind you.
I love the way that he's played both sides of the ball here today. He certainly brought it here on a Monday night. 1:45 to go. Wagner in the gun. Smith comes in motion right to left. We'll circle back behind him. Smith with the pass back, and it's a throwback, and catching the football after a rally. The Cougars unable to break a big one. The catch reeled in by Arthur Glenn. So that moves up the Cougars 2 more yards, but how about the 2 trick plays read well by that Chuckey-Doak defense? Timeout on the field will send us to a quick 30-second break. 1:26 left to play. The Knights lead it by 16. .26 left to play until Chuckey-Doak is named Area 1 champions for a 3rd year running. Couple trick plays read well by the Chuckey-Doak defense. And Sullivan Central will come out of the timeout. Just 1 remaining for the Cougs this half. Again, Smith in motion, and looks to be a false start against the Cougars. That'll back them up to now face a 3rd and 9.
The clock is dwindling away, under a minute and a half. Chuckey-Doak, if you can get one more stop in bounds, you kind of start to feel like that's going to be the ball game for Chuckey-Doak. You know they're eyeing that 3-peat. Sullivan Central still has a shot, but they're going to have to score on this play or the next play.
A 3rd and 10 here for the Cougs. Out of the gun, Wagner, and it looks to be another false start, nearly identical from that Chuckey-Doak drive that ended in the turnover on downs. 2 false starts. They back up even further, and now they're going to have 3rd down and 14 to contend with as they look to drive and erase this 2-score deficit.
Definitely. Now this helps Chuckey-Doak's defensive play calling a lot more. 15 yards to the 1st down marker. So for Chuckey-Doak, I'm just saying sit back 5 to 10 yards. They've shown us one time they can overthrow us. That's it. Just keep stuff in front of us. Keep Smith. I would double team Smith.
Yeah, triple team him. Quadruple team him. Put the whole defense on that kid. He's scored all your points to this point. I'm with you, Derek. It's a good call. Wagner, the drop back pass, interrupted by the penalty markers. Our 21st combined penalty of the evening. It has certainly prolonged this one. And it will go against the Cougar offense.
The Cougars.
Those flags are burning a hole in the pocket.
Yes. Yes, they are. Molten lava out there. Sullivan Central definitely making things more difficult for themselves. And we're going to reset the clock here as well. So it looks So 1:26. They'll put 2 seconds back onto the clock. Wagner drops back to pass. He's looking over for his tight end, and it's picked off. Chuckey-Doak intercepts it. It's Tegan Hester. Puts the game on ice. The first turnover of the ball game, and Chuckey-Doak a minute and 14 seconds away from the three-peat.
Absolutely what you wanted for Chuckey-Doak. That's a way to end it for this defense in the second half. They came out like a different animal in the second half. They smothered the Sullivan Central offense. And then 3rd and 20, gets the interception, goes down, doesn't fumble the football. Now Chuckey-Doak all but can knee it here.
The best formation in football, victory formation. We'll see if the Knights look to be doing that with Myers with 2 bodyguards to either hip. A safety man with his toes at the 40-yard line. So the Knights will need to knee it twice here, and the game will end. Myers with the first knee.
Takes a knee, and the clock rolls.
And the clock will continue to roll down under a minute. So no timeouts for Sullivan Central, and you love to see that. Myers will take a slight hit on the stats, but I don't think he really cares about that at this point. He has just won his 3rd area title, and Chuckey-Doak has delivered a three-peat and puts them into rare air here in Area 1. A second knee from Myers, and the game is all but over. And Coach Willett going to call the Dogs over to the sideline. Brody Myers jumps up into Coach Dye's arms. Chuckey-Doak Middle School achieves the three-peat. They knock off Sullivan Central 36-20 on their home turf. They avenge their earlier season loss, and they repeat their success from 2 years prior. Again, your final, it's Chuckey-Doak 36, Sullivan Central 20. The Black Knights, some mistakes and some scares late in that ball game, but they hold on to win it by 2 scores. The Chuckey-Doak Middle School Black Knights victorious again, and they will end this season as winners, much as they have the past 2. Once more, your final, it's 36-20. Chuckey-Doak knocks off Sullivan Central. Oh, sweet revenge here for the Division II Area 1 championship game. Coming up, we provide a full recap of tonight's game, including stats and a talk about what just transpired. Incredible scene here from Lower Afton as Chuckey-Doak three-peats with a 36-20 win in the championship game over Sullivan Central. Again, your final 36-20. Chuckey-Doak reigns supreme.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
In Greenville, we blend beauty with Southern charm.
From sharp cuts to flawless color and perfect extensions, we make dream hair real.
As milkshake experts, we deliver exclusive treatments, glosses, and pro product advice. Finish your look with nails and waxing done with care.
Relax and recharge with our signature Japanese head spa.
Come experience the Main Brand difference.
At the Main Brand Hair Company,
we wrangle your tangles!
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
At Marathon Quick Stop Markets, you'll find a company that realizes that our customers are our biggest assets. We are a locally owned company, proud to serve our community. So we do everything with you in mind. We clean and sanitize our stores, provide a well-lit, monitored area to keep you and your family safe. You can always expect a friendly staff and a large selection of products with weekly specials. Stop in at a nearby Marathon Quick Stop Market today.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Hello, welcome back from a jubilant Lower Afton, Tennessee. Chuckey-Doak Middle School with the three-peat. They win at 36-20 over Sullivan Central Middle School. They are your Division II Area 1 champions in the middle school ranks of TSSAA. Chuckey-Doak prevails. They survive a couple of scary situations throughout this one, Derek Tarleton, but more importantly, they are your champions at the end of the night, and they reign victorious after a 36-20 victory.
Yeah, it was a bunch of up and downs in that game, especially in the first half. First quarter, they came out hot, aggressive, scoring their first play, score on their second play, first drive, and they go for the onside kick to open the game. They came out very aggressive. Second quarter, it's kind of like a second quarter lull. You know, they had penalties, didn't get much going on offense. But that second half, they came out a completely different animal. Revenge, a loss they had to Sullivan Central earlier this season. Gets a three-peat. You just can't overlook that.
285 yards of total offense for the Black Knights, but the air attack that wasn't really there for the first half. Not that they didn't they didn't succeed, they just didn't try. They didn't air the ball out a ton, but slowly but surely throughout the ball game, especially into that third quarter, your big players stepped up and made huge plays, and the athletes just shined through on the biggest stage. And those 8th graders leave the middle school with a championship next to their year from 2023 to 2025. How big is that for that 8th grade class?
That just builds your confidence up, and it knows now, even though being in high school is different football and a different game than going to middle school, it still says now, okay, I know how to win football games. I know how to go deep in a postseason and get a win, and that really just helps you become a veteran quicker, help you become more mature a lot quicker. And you said it. They ran the football a lot more than they passed it. But like I've said multiple times here doing different live streams is why change something when it's working? Run the football. If Sullivan Central's not going to stop you, which they never showed they could, why would you want to change it and throw the football?
Absolutely. And as the award ceremony about to take place, we'll get you to that over near midfield. But before we do, we'll get the reactions of of all the players and coaches. You can head to our website, greensportszone.com. We'll hear from Jacob Willett, maybe a few players after the success of tonight. And the Black Knights swarm at midfield to hoist up the gold trophy on the CD logo. A beautiful sight to behold. And Brody Myers, the one to lift it towards the sky, a picture worth 1,000 words as Chuckey-Doak three-peats as Area 1 champions here in Division 2.
That's a moment that you'll never forget in any sport. You'll never forget lifting up a trophy, especially getting a three-peat.
Well, an incredible moment. We'll take a break. One more. When we come back, we'll give you our final stats from tonight's ball game. Once more, your final: Chuckey-Doak 36, Sullivan Central 20.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
At Food City, we make it easy for you to shop your way. Order online and pick it up curbside, or have it delivered straight to your door with Instacart or DoorDash. Nobody does food like Food City. And now, get it straight from our doors to yours.
Oh, how sweet it is. Chuckey-Doak Middle School reigns victorious on a Monday night on Columbus Day as they knock off Sullivan Central 36-20. Hey, you had the day off from school. How better to celebrate than winning your third area championship? Chuckey-Doak Middle wins it 36-20 going away over Sullivan Central Middle School. A game that was 14-12 at the halftime break. Chuckey-Doak comes back. They outscore Sullivan Central 22-8 in that second half, and a huge offensive performance from many of the brightest stars in tonight's game. We'll go through the drive chart in the second half, talk about a few of those players who made the difference. Sullivan Central did come out, or actually, no, before I get to that, we had a kickoff return touchdown from Chuckey-Doak. It was how we entered the second half as Zane Shockey, called his name quite a few times tonight, took the opening second half kickoff to the house from 85 yards out. So Sullivan Central would respond with a turnover on downs. They would fake the punt, if you remember, and turn it over. Another turnover on downs that followed them, but Chuckey-Doak, their drive chart in the second half looked like after the kickoff return touchdown, and then they turned it over on downs after getting backed up due to the penalties. Sullivan Central's went turnover on downs, touchdown, and then the interception on their final drive of the game. It was Tegan Hester hauling in the game-sealing interception for that Chuckey-Doak defense. Sullivan Central held to just 209 total yards this evening. They ran the ball for 74 yards. They passed the ball for 135 total through the air. They did have the one passing touchdown, the one interception. Their player of the game in my eyes, Reeves Smith, 102 yards receiving, 2 scores through the air, and then 22 yards rushing with a touchdown on the ground as well. So a score each of the times for Sullivan Central was Reeves Smith.
Yeah, Reeves Smith, he had a very good football game. He does not need to feel bad at all about how he came out here to play. Absolutely put the team on his back, rather, and carried them. And he absolutely did a phenomenal job doing that. Chuckey-Doak had a hard time stopping him. Like I said, I believe the last time he got the football was the only time one person brought him down.
And as we kind of shift focus, let's look at that Chuckey-Doak defense tonight. We'll start with their defensive statistics. We did keep up with the sacks, the TFLs, and the interceptions. Chapman with a sack, Nelson a sack and a half, C with a sack and a tackle for loss. You had Shockey contribute on special teams with that kickoff return touchdown. Woodby also had a sack and a half, and then Tegan Hester, the game-sealing interception. A game in which Chuckey-Doak comes out and they forced the turnover on downs in that first half, but then Sullivan Central responded with those 2 touchdown drives. But you come out second half as a defense, you have your backs against the wall, time in, time out, but you forced 2 turnovers on downs. You did give up to 1 score, but that big interception late, a Chuckey-Doak defense that just made the right plays at the right times this evening.
Yeah, the Chuckey-Doak defense that came out really on their heels the first half. That was a lot of the stats of the second half. It was 2 different teams, looked like, that changed in the pads and came out that second half. The Chuckey-Doak defense got onto it, understood what the Sullivan Central offense was trying to do. You just read all those sacks. That's big. That knocks the quarterback. That makes him a little bit rattled, make him have to think, I'm about to get hit. I got to get rid of the football. And I believe that might have been what kind of deterred him to throw that football for the game-sealing interception.
And then on the other side of the ball, I mean, that Chuckey-Doak offense, we heard about them coming in. They were just explosive throughout, especially in that second half when they had to turn to the air attack a little bit more. First half was more ground and pound outfit, just 1 pass through the air. That second half, Brody Myers goes 2 for 3 passing, 99 yards and a score. He finishes the night 3 for 4, 121 yards through the air and a touchdown, but more importantly, a goose egg in the interception column. But even on the ground, 93 yards, 2 touchdowns, and really he took 10 off because of the 2 kneels at the end. But what a night from the 8th grader Brody Myers.
It was a night that, this game sealed his career here at Chuckey-Doak Middle School, but I don't think you could have played it any better. He absolutely was on fire from start to finish. I was noticing sitting up here pregame, he was over there bobbing his head. He was pumped, ready for this game, which he wouldn't be for a championship. And he came out here and he proved why he is a quarterback, and we mentioned it during the game. If you're Coach Kaler as he moves on to high school, he ain't going to get the quarterback position. That's Kipton Ball's job. Kipton Ball's done a great job. But Brody Myers, you've got to get him in the game somehow. He's too talented to have him sitting on the sideline.
Just find a way to get that kid on the field. That's what I'd say. Myers certainly not alone in his efforts here tonight. Zayden Shockey, 71 yards rushing with a touchdown. You had Mikey Carricker with a rush for 6 yards. Jackson Sutherland, a catch for 22 yards. And you had, in my mind, the underrated player of the game, if not for, well, we'll get your player of the game here shortly, but Israel Colazo, 2 catches, 99 yards, and a score, and also a ton of tackles on defense. Played cornerback extremely well here tonight.
Yeah, you can't describe it enough. He was the one guy that brought down Smith that I just mentioned and referred to. He absolutely was everywhere tonight. Secondary, backfield, and then offensively he was there making some catches as well. You can't have a great quarterback unless you have a great player to throw to. You can't have a great defense unless you have great players, and he's one of the many great players that was on this Chuckey-Doak defense.
And it all comes down to trust. Zayden Shockey also with that kickoff return touchdown. Total yardage for the Black Knights, 285 total yards of offense, 164 on the ground, 121 through the air to go along with that touchdown pass from Brody Myers to Israel Colazo. So we've given you enough time. Who is Derek Tarleton, your 107 Tire and Service Center player of the game?
I don't think it's going to be surprising to anybody. It's definitely going to be Brody Myers. He was everywhere. He didn't throw it much. Why do you need to throw it much when you can run the football? That's what I have to say to that. And even though when he did drop back to look to throw, the play broke down, he said, I'm just going to carry the football. You can't stop me. I'm just going to run. Brody Myers is definitely the player of the game.
93 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, 121 yards and a touchdown through the air as well. Chuckey-Doak wins tonight 36-20 over Sullivan Central. They are your Division II Area 1 champions. Derek Tarleton, this 8th grade class, finishes their careers as 3-time champions and go into the high school years with that in their back pocket. And once again, I ask you for your final thoughts on what has been a tremendous night of football, a tremendous night for these young men.
Never forget this moment. Never forget how winning feels, because there's going to be times in high school that you're going to struggle not knowing. You're going to struggle, have a couple of games losing skid. You're going to struggle not to know how to get back in the win column. But once you figure out how to win football games, it's going to come like clockwork. That's what this team's done for the past 3 years. It's going to get a lot more challenging going into high school. This is a lot of young talent coming up to the high school ranks. Chuckey-Doak looks like they're going to be a scary team for years to come.
What a way to end our middle school football season and our coverage for the middle school football 2025 year as well. Special thanks to our flagship sponsor, First Horizon, for making so much of this possible. and Chuckey-Doak Middle School for being tremendous hosts here tonight on Columbus Day as the Black Knights three-peat as area champions. For everybody involved in our broadcast here tonight, for Brian Staten, for Tyler Nichols on camera tonight, for Derek Tarleton, a busy man, cameraman, producer, and color analyst for this evening. Chuckey-Doak wins tonight 36-20. For more post-game recap and a full story write-up from tonight's game, you can go to our website at greensportszone.com. Be involved with everything we're putting up there on the digital content-wise, on all of our social media platforms, and just stay tuned for everything that is to come. Once more, your final here tonight.